So, are video games addictive, or are they okay or healthy?
Anything you watch on the screen is going to be addictive. So same as cell phones, tablets, TV. So video games not any different. So it's all addictive.
No, I don't think it's addictive because I usually play the same games, but like I can go for a while without playing video games. But I do watch a lot of TV. I do watch a lot of movies. So maybe what Bree's saying about just being in front of the screen in general, that could be addictive. But because of video games, no. I mean, I can go like months without playing one. Like really?
Interesting. What about you, Patrick?
I think they are addicting. I think anything that causes, dopamines that brings people happiness or excitement, it's technically can be
When
addictive.
to hear the doo-doo-doo of the game console.
So
Well,
yeah, for sure.
I think it just depends on the person whether it's good they're addicted to it or not.
Like you definitely have to be like into it. Like I would say, like if you're gonna ask me if I'm addictive, I would actually say, we play the Call of Duty game all the time now, and like there's literally like this on the vacation we just took. We went 2 weeks, so I'm like ready to go back, and I'm like I'm ready to play Call of Duty. I'm like so
Actually,
excited.
funny story that I completely forgot, but it ties into this video game stuff. It's a 4.5-hour flight to New York from Houston, right? Houston. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're flying, and there's like movies you can watch online through United. But I had pre-planned this like maybe 2 days before we left. I got on my YouTube and downloaded some videos to watch on the plane, because we don't have reception. So we're in the plane, and Bree wakes up from her nap, looks over, and I'm on my phone watching someone play Call of Duty gameplay. And she's like,
understand.
What are you doing? I'm like, what? I'm watching my videos.
Oh, that's so funny because I have a video of Patrick in the plane watching the same thing, playing his game.
So as far as, is it more addictive to play the video game, or is it more addictive to watch other people playing the video game?
For me, it's more addictive to play the video game. Like I can play for hours. I can't really watch someone play for hours, but I do. Like Jesus, like on the trip, like at night when we're all sitting there trying to go to sleep, I'm watching my YouTubers that play games. But no, it's more addicting to me to actually play it.
But why do y'all watch it? Like, what's the thing?
It's kind of cool. They're funny, right? It's
funny.
entertainment. B, you kind of like learn things. Like we've gone together and be like, "Hey, bro, did you see this guy do this?" We're like, "Oh man, we're gonna try that next time." Right? So you kind of like learn stuff from it as you're watching it too, and see how they kind of go. Because these guys are like pros, they're like, amazing at the game. So you kind of like learning off of it as well.
I guess you could kind of say because these videos sometimes they play with their buddies. And they're talking, so they're playing the game while they're playing the game live. They're talking about their stuff, so it is entertainment. It's like another form of entertainment.
I think it keeps people out of trouble. Like, it keeps you from like being out there doing things. Like, it can keep you out of trouble. Like for kids too. Like, it can be healthy to a certain
Or it
extent.
gets you in trouble. I also have a 7-year-old who decided, I want to play Fortnite, and we're like, all right, cool. You can play Fortnite. We'll download it on your little Switch. We'll go that route. I'm in the kitchen. He's in his room, and I'm in the kitchen, and all I hear is, "I'm dying! Gosh darn it! Somebody revive me! Somebody come revive me! Gosh darn it! You guys, MF suck!" And I'm like, "What did you just say?" I didn't say anything. I didn't. I was like, you just dropped this bomb. I'm like, the thing is, they didn't even notice that he was saying it. He was so into the game that he didn't even notice it. Now, of course, yes, it's probably has to do with the household. But I mean, it's them getting in trouble. Them getting in trouble. It can happen, and I've seen it happen.
It can happen, but is that a direct influence of like video games itself? Because even if like let's say video games weren't a thing, he's learning that from somewhere. So even if it's like his friends, if it's friends, like it's obviously gonna rub off on his friends. So if they're outside like playing soccer and he tripped and fell, like the exact same terminology would come out at that point too.
But
so
I can kind of see it too. Like, okay, let's say you live in a bad neighborhood, and these younger kids are bad. So let's say they're selling drugs. I'd rather my kid be inside playing the game than out there with these kids learning about drugs, selling drugs, things
But
like
I mean,
that.
you can learn about drugs anyway. You don't have to be outside to learn about it. I mean, would you want your child to? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, would you want your child to play video games like all day long?
No,
I feel like it's okay to play, but just set like
Times.
maybe like an hour.
Yeah.
Or maybe just on the weekends. Like I don't have any children, but
and after you do your homework and everything's done.
Yeah, so, I don't believe in like tablets, cell phones for like kids having it so young because that's where it starts and that's when they become so addictive to it and they don't do anything.
So what do you think about those people that compete? To do for like competition like the E-League, there's actually people, it's even on TBS like that, there's an E-League where they play video games competitively. Do you think they're addictive?
They're not. So I think it just came, obviously they've been playing games since, they're growing up, obviously, like we have, but I don't think it's addictive to them because at this point they see it as, they're having fun and they're making money. Now I do see the side where kids see that and they kind of want to be like that when they grow up. Mm-hmm. But that's hard. It's kind of like making it into, major league sports. At that point, like you're playing football, you love football, but if you're aspiring to be an NFL player or something like that, it's
Do you think you're addicted?
I would definitely say I'm addicted. And I played a lot growing up too, like for sure. But I think you get addicted to anything like you have fun doing. And my thing is if you're doing it as entertainment, like what's the difference between playing video games and binge watching a TV show all day? Or playing video games and doing literally anything you do for entertainment. I understand like if you're dropping things that are necessary for you to do, like if you're missing out on homework or your grades are fluctuating because you're having then it's a problem. But if I'm doing everything I need to do in life and this is my way of entertainment for myself and my way to kind of do my own thing, like I don't understand like the hard thing it's doing on me.
Well, you have some people like you said that it does harm.
It does, but that's with anything. Like, you can say that with working out. Like, there's people that will drop everything because they're thinking about working out, and then they start doing, steroids, and that's hurting them mentally, and then they're, crushing their bones because they're lifting too much, and everything has obviously a negative output of it if it's too excessive. I don't understand. Like, there is a lot of bad, like, video games are so bad when people have been watching TV for years and people binge watch that, and it's literally the exact same thing, except I can be more interactive with the video game than I can with the TV show.
As I've gotten older, I still play games, obviously, but I don't think, I grew up just playing straight up games. I would get in trouble. I remember coming home from school, or even in school, knowing that I'm going to go home and play some video games. Like, that was my mentality when I was little. I was very, very addictive, and to a point I am now, but I can go a good maybe month, 2 months. There was a point in time that I did go without really playing anything at all, and I didn't like want to play a game, I guess you could say. I guess it just comes with growing up and stuff like that, whatever. But yeah, it's definitely just in how much you play it and like that not affecting everything else around your life.
My thing is, I wonder if this was the same argument people were having when, TV became a thing. Because, where people like, no, you shouldn't be watching TV. That's going to ruin your life. You should go read a book. Because essentially that's the same thing, right? Like, they made all these, books into TV shows and people started watching those. And now we're at the same essence of like, hey, don't play video games. We never hear people saying don't go watch TV, and that's weird to me. That's a weird comparison because like they're basically the exact same thing, TV and a video game.
The only difference that I see with TV and playing video games is that video games, especially, you get more addicted because it's right then and there. Back in the day when TV was, you got addicted to something on TV, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go on Netflix and I'm going to look up the next episode, or I'm going to get to this, or I'm going to go to Hulu, I'm going to go to Vudu. It's always, join us back next week at 7 o'clock to see the continuation of what's going on and da-da-da. And so you had to wait that week. And then you had that week to talk to your buddies like, oh, did you see what Goku did and da-da-da-da, And I feel like that's the only difference that now compared to now and back then was now it's all available just to, like you said, binge watch.
Right.
Back then, you had to wait for either a DVD or a VHS to come out if you wanted to binge watch it. But like, a Dragon Ball Z fight would take a month.
Right. And even to tangent off of that, like, a buddy in Colorado that we can play with and like conversate with, and I feel like that's another element that goes into video games that's not brought up. Like,
absolutely,
they're always saying like, oh, these children are they're not being able to socialize. Like, children socialize more today because they can put on a headset and be able to talk to literally whoever. I met some random guy in Cleveland, Ohio, on the video games that we play with every now and then, and so like, granted, I can see the negative outlooks on that as well, but like, I just feel like there's a lot more that goes into it. Like he was saying, like esports is a thing. Colleges are now offering scholarships to go play video games. they'll offer you a full ride to literally go play video games for these colleges. So it's giving a lot of people an extra route to be able to go do something else that they may love. And I feel like, yes, it's comparable like the NBA and NFL, but there's also like way more branches because you can be Fortnite, Call of Duty, all the other like computer games that they have that I would have no idea what they are. Like there's so many. You're throwing in, probably about another 100 worth of things that these people could strive for and possibly become. Good for it. It's giving so many more people a route.
Yeah, it's giving more people an outlet because before, if you were, I want to be a gamer, you were kind of like shunned because everybody thought a gamer was a person that's in their mom's basement, just sitting in front of a screen, not doing anything.
Someone lazy.
And you can make a lot of money now. Like the Madden people. If Madden people have those Madden tournaments, makes hundreds of $1,000s a year. If you can take one of those. So yeah, no, I can definitely see it being another outlet.
Playing Call of Duty with blackout windshields or not windshields but curtains or whatever, not ever going out, not wanting to do any kind of interaction, and then you see some individuals even start taking what they see in the video games, addicted to the video games, taken into real life. Like you see kids that, I want to shoot a gun now, I want to do this, and then when that's where the negative goes into play. But then you have the individual who's addicted to video games, uses the video games as an outlet to make money, B, socialize, and then possibly make them what do they call it, like a social butterfly. They can actually go out there and be more confident when they're in that environment.
I do think that other the other side of it, the takeout and what they're seeing in video games and doing it in life, I would like to know if there's an actual direct correlation to that, right? Because you hear it on the news all the time. Are video games, causing all this? And I've read articles where they've tried to check the children's past, and like some of them had nothing to do with video games. And of course, you do have ones that are like, okay, maybe they did grow up watching video games. But again, I go back to what's the difference between that and watching a Hollywood movie where you're seeing like all kinds of crazy stuff like that happening too. So I don't know how much I agree with that. That's like basically saying, okay, a football player can't play football because he's going to be running around in public tackling people out of nowhere. I don't 100% know if that's a direct correlation to what you're doing for entertainment, meaning this is what you're going to do in real life. I think if you're willing to do something like crazy like that, you're probably going to end up doing something crazy like that, whether you ever plugged in a PlayStation or not. Like it's just what's drilled into your head.
But my thing was, especially with my N64, was like I wanted to pass that game. I wanted to finish that game, and 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Bro, me and Jesus 2-3 o'clock in the morning, we're still killing it. We're like, you want to go to sleep? Not yet.
They're like so happy. It's like their happiest time of their life. They're like, yeah.
You see, like I think of video games as like your happy outlet. You've had a rough day at work, a rough day at school. You're doing something innocent. It's just playing a video game, especially with your friend, and that's all it is. It might take for hours, but I mean, you could. A lot of people are out on the streets doing whatever. I feel like this is just a happy outlet.
What is it that we were playing one night, and I guess Devin called Patrick, and I could hear like, you still playing that game?
Oh yeah.
And I was like, bro, you have 30 seconds before the game starts.
Literally twice I called him. Like one day I called him because it's been forever since I talked to him, and it was like, hey buddy, it's like, hey, what's up? You got 20 minutes. I'm about to respawn. All right. It's like, okay, well, this is that. All right, bye.
And what's funny is I told Nate, like, literally a couple weeks after that happened, right? I was like, man, Devin hasn't called me forever. And she's like, it's probably because each time he calls you, you tell him he only has 20 seconds. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. So as always,
stay fresh.
Stay hungry.
Stay driven.
And stay humble.